No need to continue to suffer. Life is too short, and here to add some years to your precious life is from the pain specialist of Charleston, Amanda McFan. How are you, Amanda?
Very well, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming, and we're talking about getting that back right, especially for those people that have chronic back pain and have been dealing with it for years. What have you brought with you today?
Yes, spinal cord stimulation. This is really indicated for those patients who have that chronic nerve pain in the extremities. They've already gone through all the conservative treatments. They've had medications, compounds, epidural blocks, if you will, and they continue to have pain. Even patients that have already had surgery that still have back pain. What is done, initially patients are able to have a trial. Essentially they have it for 7 days and see if it works for them. And what happens with spinal cord stimulation, it's not like a TENS unit, which a lot of physicians can confuse it with, or a lot of pain patients confuse it with. TENS stimulates the surface, where spinal cord stimulation, it works like when you slam your finger in the door and you go to rub it. We go right to the spinal column and block that signal to the brain. So instead, patients have a warm, tingling, massaging sensation instead of pain. So for the trial, it's done completely pain-free. Let me say that first. It's virtually pain-free.
And I was just going to say, forgive me, but it does look very intimidating, and I can imagine that folks at home watching right now are thinking, oh my goodness, it sounds like something I'd love to do, but I just don't know if I'd be able to go through that. But if you've ever had an epidural block or labor epidural, same concept. The epidural space is accessed with a wire. In the office, it's easily done. We are AAA HC certified, which is an outpatient certification for surgery centers. So we do everything in the office under live x-ray. The epidural space is accessed, the leads are placed, and then the patients go home with a small bandage and have a controller similar to this. Same day?
Same day. The procedure itself can take 20 minutes or less. They have a controller similar to this where our specialist set up to cover that sensation over their area of pain, so the patients can go home and essentially play with it.
This is hooked to that?
It's remote. It's remote. Now, after a week, if the patients say, I have greater than 50% pain relief, my area of pain was covered, this is a life changer, then they can go permanent, in which case a lead is placed into that epidural space, a generator is placed, rechargeable battery under the skin. It's permanent, and again, everything is remote. So
you don't have to go in, like, let's just say yearly and get it changed or anything like that?
Periodically, it'll need to be reprogrammed because scar tissue can build up around the area. Once it's reprogrammed, again, that's several minutes in the office. The patients can go home and live their life.
Maybe some people, though, aren't good candidates for something like this, so it would be good if they just went into the office and asked you some questions, some personal questions they may have themselves.
Certainly. We'll review their histories with them, review what medications they've had, what therapies they've tried, and when everything else seems to have been exhausted, certainly chronic nerve pain down the legs, in the arms, RSD, neuropathies, anything like that, these patients would be good candidates.
Can you go on with everyday life, though? Because even, a lot of people, I guess you could say they don't go on with everyday life now because of the pain. So can you continue to do the things that you like to do?
Well, that's what happens for these patients. Pain is controlling their life at this point. The goal with spinal cord stimulation is to get their quality of life back. Patients are more mobile. They have better emotional well-being because they feel better. So essentially they get control over their life again.
Awesome. Well, Amanda, tell us where you can find you and maybe an email address, or excuse me, not an email address, but maybe a website that we can go to.
Certainly. Pain Specialist of Charleston. We can be reached at 818-1181, or our website is www.painchaz.com.
And where are you located at in Charleston?
We're located 2791 Tricom Street, North Charleston.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so very much, Amanda, for being here. We do appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, well, up next, one of my favorite topics. We're talking about cars with our good friend Cliff Hudson of Hudson Imports. Stay with us.